Blank, 6:40 p.m. UAE-born Hussein Al Umari killed running towards the attacker. The only thing comforting Janna Ezat after her son's death in Friday's terror attacks is that he died a hero. Hussein Al Umari died alongside 49 others in attacks on 2 mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand, when a gunman massacred Muslims gathering for Friday prayer. Al Umari, 36, went to Masjid Al Noor mosque every Friday for prayers, but it was a ritual that had only just begun. He had recently lost his job, meaning he had the free time to allow him to visit each week. Al Umari spent much of his adolescent life in Abu Dhabi, after his family emigrated here from Mosul, Iraq, in 1982. He had spent the last 22 years of his life in Christchurch. On Friday, as he prayed alongside others from the city's Muslim community, Brendan Tarrant entered the mosque and began firing into the crowd. As people ran for their lives, or lay dead on the floor, Al Umari rushed towards the shooter shouting at him to stop. Read Ashley Stewart's full story here. Blank, 6:25 p.m. UAE executive's son, "My dad took a bullet for me." Ali Adib owes his life to his father. When a gunman burst into the Al Noor Mosque in Christchurch on Friday and began shooting, Adib Sami, 52, flung himself over his 2 sons. He was shot in the back as he tried to protect Abdullah, 29, and Ali, 23. It was Ali's 23rd birthday. "My dad took a bullet for me," Mr. Adib told the National from Christchurch. As soon as the speech started, the shooting started a few minutes after. "My first thought was for my dad. I was trying to find my dad, and if I died, at least I died with him." Mr. Sami immediately tried to shelter his 2 sons, as the shooter targeted those lying on the floor. While doing so, he took one of the bullets in his back, which narrowly missed his spine. Read Ashley Stewart's full story here. Blank, 5:29 p.m. Turkey investigating gunman's 2016 trips. Turkey has begun to track the past movements of the suspect in the Christchurch mosque shootings after it emerged he paid an extended visit to the country more than 2 years ago. A Turkish official said initial checks found that Brendan Tarrant, 28, came to Turkey twice in 2016, from 17 to the 20th of March and from the 13th of September to the 25th of October. State-run media released a photograph of Tarrant entering through Istanbul's Ataturk airport without specifying the date. "We are currently investigating the terrorists' movements and contacts within the country," the official said on condition of anonymity. Security forces are trying to piece together where Tarrant went and who he met while he was in Turkey, particularly during his 6-week stay. Investigators are to initially focus on the area around Sultanahmet Square in the heart of Istanbul's tourist district, that includes Hagia Sophia, a former church and mosque also known as Hagia Sophia, the Hurriyet newspaper reported. They will also examine hotel, airport and bus records. Tarrant referred to returning Hagia Sophia to Christian worship in a manifesto he distributed prior to the attacks. Read the full story from Andrew Wilkes here. Blank, 5:20 p.m. Pakistan to honor man who confronted gunman. A Pakistani man killed as he appeared to confront the gunman in the Christchurch mosque attacks will be given a National Bravery Award, Prime Minister Imran Khan has said. 9 Pakistanis were among the 50 people shot dead in the terrorist gun attack on 2 mosques in the New Zealand city. Video of the massacre taken by the gunman shows the man being shot down at Al Noor Mosque while apparently lunging at the attacker as other worshippers flee. "Pakistan is proud of me and Naeem Rashid, who was martyred trying to tackle the white supremacist terrorist, and his courage will be recognized with a national award," Mr. Khan said. Rashid, 50, died alongside his eldest son, 21-year-old Talha Naeem. He was a banker by profession and moved to New Zealand in 2009 to study, local media reported. Read the full story from Ben Farmer here. Blank, 4:15 p.m. Pope offers prayers for our Muslim brothers. Pope Francis has offered prayers for our Muslim brothers killed in the attack. Francis in his traditional Sunday prayer said that the mosque attack victims were added to the pain, wars and conflicts that don't cease to afflict humanity. Francis led the faithful in a silent prayer for our Muslim brothers who were killed, and renewed an invitation to unite in prayer and gestures of peace to oppose hatred and violence. The public prayers follow a telegram of condolences sent after the Friday attacks that claimed 50 victims, in which the pontiff denounced the senseless acts of violence. 4 p.m. New Zealand meant to be a safe haven for Syrians. A Syrian father and his 2 sons, who had found refuge in New Zealand last year after fleeing their homeland, were among the victims of Friday's terrorist attack while praying at Al Noor Mosque in Christchurch. Khalid Mustafa, 46, was killed alongside his son Hamza, 16, who was initially listed as missing, when the bullets rang out on Friday afternoon. His son Zaid, 13, was severely injured and is still in hospital. Family spokesman Ali Akil told the National's Ashley Stewart that Zaid had undergone a 6-hour surgery and his condition was now stable. Mr. Mustafa's wife and young daughter were not at the mosque with them. His wife was currently being supported by a family friend, and was in a lot of pain. This is a family who had managed to survive the atrocities in Syria. They then managed to escape to Jordan. They ended up in refugee camps in Jordan for a number of years, and then they finally were able to come to New Zealand as their final safe haven destination, Mr. Akil said. Read the full story here. 3:35 p.m. Australia's Open Mosque Day attracts big crowds. Residents in the Australian state of Victoria flooded to mosques on Sunday to offer condolences and show solidarity with the Muslim community, the National's Paul Stafford reports. About 500 visitors were reported at the Omar Al Khattab Mosque in the northern Melbourne suburb of Preston this year, up from a usual 100 to 150. We've had overwhelming messages of support, of condolences, of solidarity, said Baha Yahya, 43, a community relations volunteer with the mosque. 3:25 p.m. Update on the injured. The Canterbury District Health Board, CDHB, has issued an update on the condition of those injured in the attacks. David Meets, chief executive of CDHB, gave the following details. We currently have 34 patients who were injured in the mosque attacks in Christchurch Hospital. 2 were discharged late yesterday, and we expect 2 more people will be well enough to go home later today. There are currently 12 people in intensive care in a critical condition. We expect a small number of these people to be well enough to transfer to other wards later today. There is also one 4-year-old girl in Starship Hospital in Auckland in a critical condition. She was transferred from Christchurch to Auckland on Saturday, the 16th of March. Yesterday we treated and discharged 9 new patients who were injured in the mosque attacks and presented at the Christchurch Hospital Emergency Department with injuries such as embedded glass fragments, lacerations and back, knee and foot injuries. 2:45 p.m. Crowdfunding page for Eggboy raises DH 110,200. A crowdfunding page set up to help the Australian teenager who smashed a racist senator in the head with an egg has raised nearly $30,000, DH 110,200, to help with his legal fees and to buy him more eggs. Independent Australian Senator Fraser Anning attracted widespread criticism for appearing to blame Friday's white supremacist attack on Muslim immigration to New Zealand. The teenager, named Will Connolly, 17, was filmed smashing an egg on the head of Mr. Anning. The senator proceeded to turn around and punch the boy in the face on 2 occasions, before 5 or 6 of his male associates tackled the teenager to the ground, kneeing and elbowing him while he lay restrained on the floor. You can read the full story here. 2:25 p.m. New Zealand Police clarifies response times. New Zealand Police has tweeted in response to what it says was speculation around police response times to the first attack on Deans Avenue on Friday. It said that, to clarify, it received its first 111 call at 1:41 p.m. The first armed police unit was on scene at 1:47 p.m. That's 6 minutes to respond, it said. It added that its armed offenders squad was at the scene within 10 minutes, and, within 36 minutes, a mobile offender was in custody. I am very proud of the police response to this terrible attack. 1:50 p.m. Crusaders Rugby Club considers name change. Christchurch-based professional rugby club the Crusaders has said it will consider changing its name after the attacks on Friday. The side, which brands itself as the world's most successful non-international professional rugby team, issued a statement in response to concerns raised about its name. It said it will have conversations with a range of people including the Muslim community, at an appropriate time. You can read the full statement in the tweet below. 1:30 p.m. Dunedin Airport closed due to suspicious device. New Zealand police closed Dunedin Airport late on Sunday after a suspicious device was reported on the airfield. Dunedin Airport is currently closed, a statement said. Police are at the scene and specialist teams have been deployed to determine the nature of the package, according to Tracker FlightAware. Air New Zealand Flight 691 from Wellington had been circling over the city for almost an hour before being forced to return to its origin. The New Zealand Transport Agency reported State Highway 86, the main road leading to the airport, had been closed. 1:05 p.m. I threw a card machine at the attacker but I'm no hero. Abdulaziz Wahabzada, a 48-year-old Afghan-born shop owner who has lived in Australasia for the past 3 decades, was attending Friday prayers with his 4 children at the Linwood Islamic Center, when the attack began shortly before 2 p.m. At first we thought it was firecrackers. Someone trying to play around with us, he told The National. A man then yelled that people had been shot outside, he said. Mr. Wahabzada then ran outside to where the gunman had already killed 3 people, instinctively grabbing an EFT POS card payment terminal on his way out the door and threw it at the attacker as they came face to face. Read the full story here. 12:20 p.m. Video summary. More than a dozen in critical condition. 12 noon. Victims range in age from 3 to 77. Full details of who died in the attack have yet to be confirmed publicly by authorities, but a list is being circulated by families of the deceased. The document provides the names of 44 men and 4 women, and so is missing the identities of 2 of the 50 victims confirmed as dead by police. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said the list was not formal, and will not be until formal identification has been completed. 11:30 a.m. We stand united with our Muslim brothers and sisters. Christchurch Mayor Leanne Dalziel said terror had no place in Christchurch and that the community is united in condemning Friday's mosque shooting. There are people who are absolutely determined to divide our world, and they will only conquer us if we allow divisions to occur, Mrs. Dalziel told The National. We stand united with our Muslim brothers and sisters, Mrs. Dalziel said. The priority was to show solidarity with the people of all country affected and seek forgiveness. You can read more on this here. 10:50 a.m. Tension over release of bodies. The first bodies from the Christchurch mosque massacres were due to be released late on Sunday. But there's growing frustration among victims' families over delays in getting their remains for burial. Islamic custom dictates that the deceased should be buried within 24 hours, but authorities said the complex investigation made a quick process difficult. New Zealand officials said that all 50 bodies should be back with their families by Wednesday. The graves being prepared at Memorial Park Cemetery on March 17, 2019 in Christchurch, New Zealand. Getty Images. It's a massacre. What else do they need to know? Sheikh Amjad Ali, an assistant school principal who had traveled from Auckland to help with the funeral arrangements, told AFP. The families are sad but they are getting a bit frustrated. The reasons of their deaths are known. Why not release those who have been identified, he said. I'm not going to talk against authorities because they have their own rules and regulations, but they are balancing between the culture and religious views and the local laws. Ali said it was difficult for relatives to know that the bodies had been lying in the mosques for more than a day. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said a small number of bodies would be returned to families from Sunday evening. 10:10 a.m. Pakistani death toll reaches 9. Pakistan's foreign ministry spokesman says 3 more Pakistanis have been identified among those killed, bringing the nation's death toll to 9. Spokesman Mohammed Faisal in his latest tweet Sunday said Zishan Raza, his father Ghulam Hussein and mother Karam Bibi are now confirmed to have killed in the terrorist attack in Christchurch. 9:45 a.m. New Zealand wants answers from Facebook. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said she would be looking for answers from Facebook and other social media firms about how the attack was live-streamed on their platforms, saying there were further questions to be answered by the tech giants. She said Facebook Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg had been in contact and acknowledged what has occurred here in New Zealand. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern meets representatives of the Muslim community at Canterbury Refugee Centre in Christchurch, New Zealand. Reuters. The live stream, lasting 17 minutes, was shared repeatedly on YouTube and Twitter, and internet platforms were scrambling to remove videos being reposted of the gruesome scenes. We did as much as we could to remove, or seek to have removed, some of the footage that was being circulated in the aftermath of this terrorist attack, Ms. Ardern said. But ultimately it has been up to those platforms to facilitate their removal. 8:50 a.m. Facebook removes more than 1 million videos. Mia Garlick of Facebook New Zealand has revealed the scope of the social media platform's moderating efforts after videos from the attacks were widely posted and shared. In the first 24 hours, Facebook removed 1.5 million videos of the attack globally, of which 1.2 million were blocked at upload. Of respect for the people affected by this tragedy and the concerns of local authorities, we're also removing all edited versions of the video that do not show graphic content, Ms. Garlick said. We continue to work around the clock to remove violating content using a combination of technology and people. 8:10 a.m. Ardern manifesto didn't include location or specific details. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said her office received a manifesto from the gunman suspected of killing 50 people in two Christchurch mosques minutes before Friday's attack. I was one of more than 30 recipients of the manifesto that was mailed out 9 minutes before the attack took place, she said on Sunday. It did not include a location, it did not include specific details, she said, adding that it was sent to security services within 2 minutes of receipt. Initially, 49 people were declared dead, but 2 Jordanians and a Saudi national succumbed to their wounds on Saturday, raising the death toll above 50. Suspect Brenton Tarrant appeared before a judge on Saturday, handcuffed and wearing a white prison robe. He has been held in custody pending further hearings. Updated, March 17, 2019, 7:16 p.m.